Hi, this is Lisa Brown, and I am here and I'm going to speak today, share a little bit of my story for the Clothesline project that is happening by none other than Stephanie Beans. I'm just going to share my story, answer some questions, and I really hope it inspires you and blesses you.
Thanks so much, Lisa, for that introduction. Lisa, tell us a little bit about how domestic violence and sexual assault has affected your life and your story.
Um, I grew up in a life um, of abuse, of physical abuse, and from the age of 2 all the way up to 16, 17. I was abused by my father, physically beat every day, day in, day out, and I feared him. And I want to start there because that's where it all began for me, for the identity and just being surrounded by that and growing up in that environment. I also found out at the age of 2 years old, my real father put me in the hospital and they said I had a handprint on my thigh. I was also in a foster home that was verbal abuse, and just really broken by that. But there was one particular relationship, particularly that I lived in fear. And I was about 16 years old. And this older man, about 40 years old, took me in. It looked all beautiful, and he said, he seemed really like a great guy. He said, I can give you a place to live. At that time, I was in the streets. And he said, you could live with me. I'll provide for you, which I just wanted a place to rest my head. Well, from then on out, physical abuse, physical violence started happening. He would grab me by the hair, throw me into the car, call me out B word and all kinds of names, slap me, kick me, beat me, and he raped me. And this was a day in and day out. Also got me hooked on drugs. And I thought it was normal, even though I was hurting and a lot of pain inside. So, but I stuck with it. Because there was the home, there was provided for, and I needed that. So I did stick with that. It was very closed off. He would always check on me, make sure that I didn't have friends on the outside. It was just a terrible, terrible instance. And yeah, that was a very, very bad relationship.
Lisa, tell us a little bit about how you were able to get away.
I was able to get away because, first of all, I made the decision. I can't live like this. I can't continue to be beat and verbally abused. I can't continue this way on drugs. I had never done drugs before in my life, and meeting him and got me hooked on that. I wanted more. I wanted out. So I confided, and I believe I told my brother, and which the funny thing was, it was his foster dad's brother that I was in the relationship with. So they made sure I got out of that situation, and I can't recall any other instances. I just knew that I got away from him and made sure that he never saw me again, and that I was in a safe place. But I do want to tell this, even though I got away, it affected me for a long time. It was still in my heart, in my soul, in my mind. I was still broken. I was still being tormented, and living in fear. Is he going to find me? Where is he? And so I carried all of that with me, even though physically I got away from him, and it was hard.
Lisa, tell us a little bit about your healing process.
My healing process, and again, it's more than that relationship. I was also in another one at the age of 17 years old, another older guy. I was attracted to older guys for some reason. Maybe it was because I didn't have the father. I don't know. So I was like 17 and he was about 40. And so, um, and I got away from that, got in a safe house, ended up here. And part of the healing process for me was, and we're talking about a lifetime of abuse from a baby on all the way up. There was also sexual abuse in there as well. Um, in a foster home with a foster dad, and they even got their license back. So a lot. Part of my healing process was with one day when I was in the safe house, somebody began to tell me how much value I had. And they weren't looking for something. They weren't looking for what I can give. They were looking beyond, into my eyes, into my heart, into my soul as a person, and began to tell me about Jesus, a man named Jesus, and how much he loved me, and how much he paid a price to love me, and for me to be free from all of that, from all of the hurts, the pains, everything that I carried with me. And that's part of my healing process, was the love of Jesus. When day in, day out, they begin to tell me, and being in a shelter as well, that they just told me about Jesus and said how much he loved me, how much I'm precious to him. And something began to happen in my heart. It was like the presence of Jesus was drawing me in. And I had nothing else to try. I tried everything. And the love from these people, and the love that I felt every time they mentioned his name. And so I went on a quest, I went on a search to find out who this Jesus was that said he loved me in the state I was in and accepted me for who I was, and could take something so broken, and with his power and with his love could make me into something beautiful.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Is there any message that you would like to give to those that are in domestic violence and sexual assault positions or in a situation?
I want to let you know that you're not alone. There's thousands and thousands, unfortunately, that are in domestic violence, that are in those relationships, whether man or woman. But I do want to tell you, the first step to healing is to get away. I know it's hard. I know you think this is your life, and there is no other way. There's nothing more for you. There's not a bigger purpose for you. Your life evolves around this, and you have in your mind that it's always going to be this way. The first step is to tell and to say something for your life, to say something. Is to open up your mouth and tell someone that you trust, or tell a support group, and that's your first step to healing, so they can help you to get away. This is not who you are. This is not what you belong in. You were created for so much more, for love, for beauty, created with a destiny. You're worth so much, and so much value to God. And this is not, there is hope. I just want you to know there is hope. Just open up your mouth, find someone, tell somebody, find a support group, find a church, tell someone, so they can create a safe place for you. There's resources out there, but just tell so you can get away from that situation. There's hope.